Welcome to another episode of Just Saying with. Today we're just saying with Mr. Leo Leong, the general manager of Kitchen and Bath, or basically general manager at Kohler. He is in charge of leading and managing the kitchen and bath business in the South and Northeast Asia region, comprising of Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, Japan, Guam, Saipan, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. And we're going to talk a little bit about how our attitudes have changed post pandemic to how we live our lives at home.
Good, Zed. Thank you very much for having me on Just Saying. It's great to be here. You
Hi,
mentioned
Leo.
how we have changed, our focus. I think the most important change that we have all witnessed, including ourselves here, is our elevated sense of hygiene. Everybody wants to keep themselves clean, their environment clean, their family safe. Um, and that's where Kohler Company has actually put a lot of effort and investment into creating products that are really suitable and enhances the hygiene side of our daily life. I'll give you a couple of examples. We actually introduced a touchless, a sensor faucet for the kitchen um, in the height of COVID that actually has our latest technology called Response. Um, it's actually make the touchless sensing a much more accurate um, uh, effect. And what we do is on the neck of this kitchen faucet, you just have to hover your hand and it turns on and off. It toggles on and off. So you don't actually have to touch anything. It's great for anyone in family when they come home to actually get their hands washed to stay hygienic. Another product in the bathroom is actually a product called the Modern Life toilet. It has a rimless design and is actually designed in a way that water droplets will actually slide down the edge of the bowl. Also, because it's rimless, it actually makes it much easier to clean. The way the toilet seat is actually attached to the toilet bowl makes it easy to detach and clean as well. So all these little things and technology are what we have done to contribute to this new normal in the daily living.
Yeah, that's very interesting when you talk about being a bit more hygienic. So I think over the last 2 or 3 years, unfortunately, also with hygiene comes the lack of touch. As you mentioned, yeah, a lot of new products. Maybe let's touch a little bit about Kohler as an organization, as a company. What's that vision and mission that drives Kohler?
Wow. Well, our motto is to be bold. We symbolize that and we actually demonstrate that in the product designs, in our use of innovative technologies, and also in the way that we market. So being bold is very much part of the everyday with Kohler Company. And you already see that in a lot of our products, in the way we actually promote ourselves in the market, in across all the regions, in fact, across the world. So when you say, well, comes hygiene, also comes the lack of touch. Yes and no. Um, what we do is, at the end of the day, our products very much use water as the medium to actually touch the user. And this sensation of actually using water is actually very important. Of course, using the product, there is also um, a level of touch involved. You have to sit on the toilet, for example. You do have to turn knobs and faucets and taps and so forth in order to use it. But how do we actually make that more tactile? How do we make that more user-friendly without having to think about it, even if technology is involved, has been what's going on in Kohler. We actually put a lot of effort into making it easy for the user to actually experience our products.
I really like what you said about water being the medium that you know um, provides that interaction, and I think I've never quite heard it put that way, but the moment you said it, I think everyone that hears understands exactly what you mean by that. There's that special feeling you get when you turn on a tap early in the morning and you wash your face. Um, Speaking of which, so a lot more time, or basically since the pandemic, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home. So prior to this, we'd be in the office. I used to spend a lot more time in the office than I would at home, and now, of course, that has flipped. Has that also now, well, we've turned our homes into our offices. We've gone with the standing desks, the different kind, bigger monitors, newer monitors. But have you seen any change in trends? Now you cover a huge region. I rattled out the countries earlier. Have you seen a trend on how people are now, well, investing more in their homes for not just a more sanitary living, but a more luxurious experience, and have our homes literally now become, or actually become, our castles and spas now?
Wow, interesting the way you put it. The answer is definitely yes. We have actually seen a lot of consumers over the past 2 years invest so much more in upgrading their homes. Well, one thing is yes, we all do spend a lot more times at home, whether it's for home life or for work life. Um, but that also means we see a lot more imperfections in the home. Things have become old, have become out of date, and many customers have actually wanted to upgrade, and they have. That has driven a lot of our growth in the last 2 years, and that growth is actually continuing as well. And when you say whether people actually wanted to make their living environments more luxurious, I would say to an extent, yes. Everyone wants to upgrade their sense of well-being, upgrade their sense of comfort. Whether that equates luxury, it's different for everyone, right? But I think the answer is definitely yes. People actually wanted to put more um, uh, beautiful products, products that actually blend in and match with the other home environments and home products, as well as people are also a lot more willing to try out new technologies in even things like in the bathroom. So we have seen a lot of that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So typically, when we talk about technology, um, you think about gadgets, you think about the latest phone, the TV, audio systems. What does technology in the kitchen and bath ecosystem look like? What are some of the latest things that have basically emerged over these last couple of years, that you can talk about, that consumers don't really, or should be on the lookout for in terms
Sure.
of technology?
Yes, I think one of the things that we have seen a lot of renewed interest is in intelligent or smart toilets. This category, of course, has been pioneered many years ago by other companies, but we have actually taken on board a lot of the new requirements from the consumers and put into our product development. Um, well, one thing is about aesthetics. That's very important. Instead of being very squarish, very angular, we actually made the products a lot more pleasing to look at. It blends in, as I say, with the other home environment, the home products. But in terms of technology, um, we actually want to create a much better usage experience as well. But also in in the current consciousness about hygiene, we also put in new things into those products, such as an intelligent toilet, to actually even make it more clean um, and enhance the sense of peace of mind for the users. For example, in our product, our flagship smart toilet called the Air, um, the water that is actually being used to clean ourselves is actually pre-filtered. We actually have a filter built into the toilets. The filter actually has a sensor which tells the users when it's actually due for replacement. So the user can actually feel a lot more secure when they actually use the toilet to clean themselves, because it's the most intimate parts that they're cleaning. that the filter that the water has been purified of impurities of chlorine, of other chemicals, and of course a lot of the germs has been taken out as well by this filter. So it's these elements of our new product development that we actually include to make the products even more appealing to the modern day customers. It's serving a functional need, but also serving a heightened need for comfort and for hygiene.
Yeah, and no, I had the privilege to visit the showroom in Singapore, and I totally get what you mean. There's something about walking into a bathroom which just looks good, and I think it's a very well, as you mentioned, a very personal thing, a very private thing, because I would think that if you were to renovate your home and you could only choose one, your your master bedroom, bath, or the one that visitors use, typically you'd want to do the master bedroom one first because yeah, that's the one because it's the one it's for you. It's a very personal experience. It's a safe place, um, and especially now that there's a lot more focus on mental well-being, they've become a bit of a sanctuary, and it's amazing that the things that you can do, and you can take that hotel, that spa experience back home. Now, I've got a couple more questions left. Now, talking about bringing that spa experience back home and with mental wellness, our homes themselves, so especially I would say Singapore and Hong Kong, very similar. Homes are becoming smaller and smaller. Having that whole huge an open concept layout that you would and that you see in the trailers for your new product launch, which you can find in the article as well. But you can't quite realistically, I would say, or practically do that in most homes today. So, what can consumers do? What are the little tips or tricks, or what products can they use to give that experience, but at the same time integrate that into a smaller home?
Right. Yes. The home living environment, even the bathroom, is actually getting smaller. The Hong Kong ones are amazing, amazingly small. But one thing that is, of course, the trend is as things actually shrink in size, the living environment, the bathrooms, we see, more use of a shower rather than a bathtub, for example. That is certainly, showering is the way to go. And that's also where we have introduced a new line of products called the Anthem and Statement Collection. Um, the Statement Collection is a host of shower outlets, shower heads, overhead showers, hand showers, and so forth. That actually comes in iconic shapes, forms, and colors. It's the right size for these smaller bathrooms, but we also have other products in the same range that actually caters for a larger bathroom as well. These comes in forms that are different from before. In the last 20 years, we see a lot of squarish, angular, very harsh looking products, especially in the overhead shower. But what we have introduced is something that is a lot more soft, oblong shapes, round, and so forth. And then to add to that, to make it even easier, and when we talk about a more luxurious environment, the Anthem is the control valve that we have introduced. It comes in two flavors, the flagship digital one, and also a more traditional mechanical control valve. What this does, especially for a multi-sensory environment, is that the valve can actually control up to six outlets independently. So you can have your overhead, you can have your hand shower, you can have a body jet spray, you can have one that actually directs at your back for massage, and so on and so forth. So the six outlets can be individually controlled in two temperature zones in the case of the digital control. So that gives a new sensation of well-being, of comfort. And when you say, bringing the spa back home, I think that's as close as it gets.
You're right, and aesthetically as well. I love the way the brass and black variants look. Those look really, really nice, very stylish. and very pleasing to the eye. I think that's my favorite color combination that you have of your line. Um, well, last question before we go. Um, you spoke a little bit about technology early on. What kind of technology can we look forward to that you think is going to, I mean, over the next couple of years, how is that going to increase? Yeah.
I think ease of use is very much going to be the trend going forward. Still, hygiene is going to be a very big thing that influences everybody. And of course, as we talk more about water saving, sustainability, a lot more effort will also be put into that area. So design and aesthetics is a given, but all the other technological aspects will also be considered in our development. We have 5 design centers across the globe that actually absorbs a lot of the current trend from everywhere that we actually put into our product design. So technology is one of our biggest focus, as I say, use of innovation in order to be bold.
Well, Leo, thank you very much. And I think it definitely going down to the showroom was a bit of an eye-opening experience. Especially since even myself, I took the last couple of years while we were staying at home to plan my home, and we redid our living room, we redid our the study area because we thought that that's where we spend most of our times. And it was really a little bit of an eye opener when we saw the different, or when I saw the different product lines, and well, basically, I guess doing the bathroom now will be the next on my list. With that, once again, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of Just Saying With. And Leo, great work that Kohler's doing, an amazing lineup of new systems, shower heads, hand showers. And it really does feel like you're bringing the spa home. With that, have a great evening and see you soon. Take
Thank you,
care.
Zach. Thank you for having me. Have a great week.
Okay.
See you.